Herman Mashaba, it would seem like your dream has come true. I've received a letter from Home Affairs. Herman Mashaba. See you at the polls next year, my brother. And I think you know who I'll be voting for.
We as black South Africans should keep voting for the ANC?
Yes, I don't think we have got an option. And I say we because I can also vote here.
Really?
Yes.
Why? Can you vote in both countries?
Yes.
It was fucking unfair. That.
Hello and welcome to the channel. Let's take a look at these stories. There's a lot happening in South Africa. Go busy. As usual, Rutendo decided to insert himself with his gaslighting ritual. We'll call it that for now because he knew exactly what he was doing when he was flashing his dual citizenship on a video recently, and further on insulted him and Mashaba for asking for him to be deported. Now, there's nothing wrong with having dual citizenships. South Africans also hold dual citizenships somewhere. The issue, though, is in times of conflict, which country is that person loyal to? We've seen it recently with the Human Rights Commission, where people who hold dual citizenships, they are siding with the other side. And then we also have seen it in the universities and colleges, in parliament. Where's the loyalty to South Africa? We'll take a look at the sentiments around this and how he actually got it. And not only that is keeping South Africans busy, the EFF have decided to lay a charge against Dudula, claiming that they are involved in the unaliving of somebody. Not only that, there is a smear campaign against Uzandile, the leader of Dudula, calling her a foreign national. But asikho lapho, asibambe lapho. Let's take a look at the rest of the comments and sentiments around these topics. And please give this video a thumbs up as we do that.
South Africans, Uzandile ngilitshele. Yabona le RDP. Yami, ngithengile noma lingakwata mina eZimbabwe ngibuya khona, mari la eSouth Africa kumele ube so yonke into iyathengwa la eSouth Africa. Uthenga ID, thenga passport, thenga RDP, everything. Malifuna ukuyaza ukuthi mina ngifike njani la eSouth Africa. I paid to be here.
Let me tell you a story, Herman Mashaba. When I first came to South Africa, I came on a 6-month work permit. And we had accepted a 6-month contract because I was supposed to come to South Africa for 6 months and from there go to Dubai, do 2 years, and then go and join my parents in the United Kingdom where they were living. And I thought South Africa had nothing to offer me. So I flew down from Zimbabwe, not expecting anything. In fact, I was just hoping that the 6 months would pass quickly. Landed at OR Tambo, and then all of a sudden, boom, my plans changed. You know, coming from Harare, which was one of the most beautiful cities in Africa, I didn't expect Joburg to have anything to offer. But when I touched down at OR Tambo, Herman, I was in shock. We reached down, there's this amazing infrastructure, a beautiful airport, organized, equipment, machinery. It literally looked like we had just touched down in Europe. No, we were in South Africa. Before I could even enjoy the sight from the window of the plane, the doors of the plane opened and were asked to leave. And instead of walking downstairs, all of a sudden we're ushered into a corridor. I'd never seen this before. Despite the little traveling that I'd done, I'd never known that you can come out of an aeroplane straight into a corridor. I'd only seen it in the movies. We walk down this corridor, Herman. I'm looking around. I'm in shock. I'm in amazement, wondering if I'm in the right place. And just there we turn, starting to go to immigration. There are these things that look like escalators on flat ground. People are riding on them and they're sliding along quickly towards their destination. That is the day I began to realize what it is that South Africa was. But more importantly, what it is that Johannesburg was. We get into the shuttle drives out of the parking straight into a freeway. It's like we're driving on the Autobahn in Germany. I'm still looking and thinking, Did I oversleep? Did I somehow come to Germany instead of South Africa? I was in South Africa, Herman. I was like, wow. This was a city managed by Mbazi Mashlowa of ANC and Paul Mashatile. The city was beautiful, pristine. And immediately right there and then I made a decision. I'm not staying here for 6 months. I'm going to live in this place. I want to be in this place. And then to top it off, I went to have dinner in Soweto. I was like, wow. Now this is a place. This is a place I could live. I thought Harare was all I wanted. This place is amazing. Fortunately for me, I then got a shoot in Cape Town. So a month later, I'm leaving Joburg to Cape Town. I couldn't wait. So a month later, boom, I go to Cape Town. Fly into Cape Town and we land. Doesn't feel like Joburg. It's underwhelming. It feels like I've landed back in Harare. Then we start to see the shacks. Shacks upon shacks upon shacks. And that place was run by the DA. You could not compare what you see in El Dorado Park and what it is that I saw in Micho's play. It was the worst and most pathetic experience. Then we went into the little city center. It feels like a little town. Nothing to write home about. So when people say the DA is the best at managing cities, you cannot compare what the ANC did in Johannesburg, what they did with Durban, why Durban is the place where most people want to go on holiday. It is because the ANC ran these places way better than the DA does in Cape Town. Because Cape Town is a hellhole. And it's a hellhole because of a lack of service delivery, a lack of economic activity. That's why its economy is smaller than Durban and Johannesburg. And the failure of the ANC to have good PR because they decided to eliminate good communicators and good communication agencies like mine that turned the sentiment against sanctions in Zimbabwe to employ only South African agencies is why they are failing in telling their good story. They have had xenophobia affecting their ability to tell the wonderful story that they have because South Africans take for granted what the ANC did for them. So Herman, you know where I'm going to vote. So, until then, my brother, I'm coming to South Africa. Herman Mashaba, it would seem like your dream has come true. I've received a letter.
Wena Rutendo. From Zimbabwe. Stop provoking South Africans when. Stop provoking abantu ba South Africa. Stop disrespecting abantu ba South Africa. It's not like nina abantu abanama document from Zimbabwe nibaningi or something. Out of 100, only 5 of you have a passport. So stop disrespecting ama South Africans wena ngoba uzoyithola lento uyifunayo one day. Uzoyithola lento uyifunayo one day. There are some people abazokusilence because it seems like you don't take note. Awufuni ukuhlukana nokukhuluma nge-South Africa as if i-country yakho noma ufuna abantu bangakini benze uma ithanda la e-South Africa. Yethu wena unayo wonke amaphepha agunyaza ukuthubela South Africa. So stop promoting abantu bangasemakini ukuthi bafike la eSouth Africa be undocumented. It seems like awuna respect for abantu bale South Africa and awuna respect for imbono yabo noma imvo yabo ukuthi bathini ngecountry yabo. Stop it.
I'd like to clarify something about acquiring South African citizenship. I worked for the Department of Home Affairs for more than 20 years, and there are various forms in which you can acquire South African citizenship. You can then apply for an identification document. You must also understand that as a refugee, you do qualify for an identification document, but then your identification number will differ to that one of a South African citizen. And if you are a permanent resident, you can apply for a South African identification document. As well, your identification number will differ to that of a South African your 13-digit identification number. It might be a green South African identity document, but then it will differ, or you'll identify it with the identification number. So there are various forms for one to acquire South African citizenship.
I can say I'm a Pan-Africanist. I can say that I believe to the unity of Africans. I really support the economic freedom fighters. But and I will say this, I do not support Operation Dudula, because somewhere the way they are going about it is not right. And I've seen a lot of privileged blacks sitting here and speaking, a reason why Africans will never unite. Unite to the expense of who? To the expense of who? South Africans.
EFF, I have to talk about this. I have to. Okay, I don't know if you guys have seen the influx of tweets about Operation Dudula from the EFF side, right? I mean, it started with Julius Malema saying Operation Dudula, a group of thugs. Now all of a sudden, I cannot scroll 10 seconds without finding a tweet about Operation Dudula, and it's all derogatory stuff. Look at this, copy and paste. They literally I thought maybe this is a paid campaign, because ain't no way. Copy, paste. So now I have a question for anyone that supports the EFF, right? So by you guys pointing out that she might be Zimbabwean, she might be from Zimbabwe, her children are Zimbabwean, her baby daddy is Zimbabwean, she doesn't know her history, this, that. You are basically saying you do see a difference between a Zimbabwean and a South Africa. So there is nothing like we are one. There is nothing like that. Because if we were one, then this wouldn't be a point of ridiculing someone. It seems like it is now. Y'all are laughing at her because she's supposedly from Zimbabwe. So y'all don't see Africans as one. Well, that's a question. Do y'all see Africans as one? Or you'll actually see Zimbabweans as less? As laughable? I don't know. So the fight between EFF and Operation Dudula continues. Oh, well, I think so.
Well, we've opened a case of murder. It's up to the state to take up and do the necessary investigations, because in our mind, someone has passed on, and that's a murder.
Well, there you have it. Some shocking developments there, and other commentary coming in. As you have seen, Rutendo will take any opportunity to rub it in the face of South Africans. But one thing about him is that he does speak a bit of truth, but he always sprinkles it with a bit of lies to suit his narrative. I tried to compress the video to minimize the length, as you have seen that it is quite chunky if you have met it on other platforms. Now, one thing that you should notice, that having a South African ID does not mean that you are now a true citizen. As you have heard, the explanation by Advocate Mkhwebane is that even refugees, even citizens with permanent residence, even citizens via naturalizations, they all can get South African IDs, but their ID numbers differentiate them, and that it also limits what they would have access to. So there are rules and regulations around the ID that he is flashing. As we have heard in the interview, he is shaky about how he got his ID. Right, it could be via his children, because he has South African children. But Asiyegeleyo, he goes on and praises the ANC in his video. He goes on, praises how Joburg is better than Cape Town, all in an effort to secure a tender for his company. Rather. And what else is disappointing? You've seen in the video that Operation Dudula is having a case against them because of the EFF, the same EFF that speaks of African unity. They are the first ones to lay a charge. How will they then handle any other conflict in other countries should they be this African unity? No, that is not the best way to go about it. And in terms of all the other allegations against Uzandile, her being a foreign national and moonlighting as a South African, well, if that is the case, then she is the right type of foreign national that South Africa needs. I mean, there are lots of other examples of foreign nationals that have loyalty to South Africa, that you have no shadow of doubt in your mind that their dual citizenship is not a matter of conflict because they have made South Africa their home. You get people like your DJ Freshes, your is it Oscar, or DJ Oskido, that's the name I was looking for, nabanye nje that have pledged their loyalty to South Africa. Noma Kanjan, they've made it their home. Now, what is the way forward then? You have heard in the videos that foreign nationals are well aware, they are well aware of the benefit of being a South African, and it is up to the citizens of South Africa to then protect this great value, whether it's from Africans or Europeans. Let's talk about it down below. This video is already long. Thank you so much for joining us on this one. Let's meet on the next one. Let's chat down below. Bye.